March, we are launching, and this is kind of what, does tie back into the thing I was just waffling on about educating different people and broader people. So, there's definitely printed materials out there for printed magazines for people who are embedded in the cannabis culture. Weed World, you mentioned, is probably the best the longest serving in the UK. And there's a few more on the continent. But as I say, a lot of people don't associate themselves, they don't see themselves in that culture. And as we have done with Leafie Online, one of the ideas we had was to do a print magazine, very kind of glossy, kind of normal size, should be going on shelves. So yeah, but whoever is out there listening to this, we've just launched it. So we're doing it as a crowdfunder to kind of raise the funds to get it out there. Although, to be honest with you, the majority of it is done. And it's going to be essentially an extension of Leafie, right? It's going to be longer stories, which is great because, we find people's attention span online can be quite short. You're reading an article on your phone and WhatsApp goes, you go to the WhatsApp message and you stop reading.
Yeah,
so, something tangible, people can sit down, they can have a cup of coffee with and read and immerse themselves. So yeah, if you are listening to this, check it out, go on to Leafie and have a look and see if it's your sort of thing. But again, we're hoping that by doing something tangible, people can share it in a different way. People can say, oh, look at this article. People can, people might come across it on a shelf in a shop, and we've tried to make it look, like the front cover is quite appealing and a bit different and a bit arty, because we think that, if you're in a shop and you pick that up and you're like, well, what's this? Oh, it's a story about edibles. Oh yeah, I take edibles. This is interesting. Oh, there's stuff about mushrooms and rheumatoid arthritis in here. My dad's got, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to take it home and eat it. I'm going to say to my dad, look, this person tried magic mushrooms and it, reduced the symptoms of RA. We've got that. Why don't you give it a try? So, this is the idea of trying to get that information out into more people. And, Instagram isn't helping us. Facebook isn't helping us. So, if we can't use their audience, we'll go and find it somewhere else. And as you say, they're probably missing out there, because if we would, if we were on able to advertise on Facebook, we probably would have done. We would have done that to try and reach new people, but we can't. So we did a magazine instead. Yeah, and so also don't spoil it.
Magazines are becoming a lot more popular again. People want something, as you said, tangible, something they can put on a coffee table, something with a collectible sort of thing. I used to love collecting mixed mag when I was younger.
Yeah. And it's
Loaded, FHM.
It's that mindfulness thing, like you're going to sit down and do something, you're going to put your phone on silent, you're going to read something. Yeah, like at the end of every day, I put my laptop down, and the thing that clears my mind the most is picking up my Kindle and reading. And it gets me into a different zone. And I think, we can do that with a magazine. We can give people something. People are coming, kids that have grown up online, Gen Z kids, they're loving buying stuff from the 90s. They're loving buying vinyl, which was once a dead format. And magazines are having that kind of, that moment of like, I don't want to just be endlessly scrolling. I want to do something else. I want to feel something. I want to touch something. I want to go and sit outside for 2 hours, with a spliff and a magazine and a coffee, and like really just have a good couple of hours off the fucking world. I don't want, someone to text me and interrupt me to tell me that I've forgotten something or I need to be somewhere, or, I don't want a marketing message about buying something, or a letter from O2 and a text from O2 saying your bill's this much this month. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that. Hopefully it will, people will agree with us that having something physical is a pleasure.
Yeah, man. No, nice. I think it's a good wise step, because, as you say, the physical market, a lot of people are starting to understand. This will segue quite well into my next question. A lot of people will currently understand, or currently beginning to understand, rather, the limitations of stream services. So a lot of people that rewatched Scrubs when it appeared on, I can't remember which platform it was, were shocked when all of the music was different. So these moments they remembered from fucking nostalgically 10, 15 years ago, how long the TV show was, the music was completely different and jarring. And because they didn't have the license for the music, they had the license for the show, but they couldn't license the music set to replace the music. And so people are then seeing, obviously, with different sensibilities and whatever else, they're going, watch this movie, it was released in the 90s. And they're like, where's loads of it? The Friends, for example, TV show on Netflix, shitloads of that missing. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They've got like 4 or 5 missing episodes. South Park, same, several missing episodes. So unless you own them or you go into a darker corner of the internet, you're not going to get access to. So physical media, as you say, is growing of people that want They want to hold something in a hand that can't change when they look away. Do you know what I mean? That magazine, when they've bought it from you, that's locked in time. Do you know what I mean? When I go back to it, it's there. It's what I'm hoping to do with the podcast in a way, is going, no, go to that episode, to that person. They'll tell you the truth themselves. They were there. And so you're creating this chronology of events and this sort of catalogue of history for people to look back through and to be able to kind of plot a foundation of where we are. So I think physical print media is so important. I think there's a magazine that was launched recently called, is it The Face? Maybe mixing that up with something else, but it was a project done by, I think, Simon Doherty, who was from Vice
Got it over there.
Yeah.
Right,
Got one
post.
right there in front of me.
Yeah. So there is that, like I said, that resurgence for it. And advertisers, again, they want to hit their audience. The people who are buying your magazine are not going to scroll past your magazine. Do you know what I mean? They've got to your magazine because they want what's in your magazine. Whereas on the internet now, it's a fucking mishmash. The adverts and the things that are generated because of the censorship, the things I actually look at, that data is not translated into the advertiser revenue because I'm going to advertise me weed adjacent products. So I end up with shit that has no relevance. So their value drops. Whereas the companies then advertising a print magazine that's only exposed to their demographic, it's 100% fucking up. Do you know what I mean? So there's a win-win for that. There's a capitalist model within it, to cultural representation. And as you said, I think the longer format stories and the things that people can actually really go back to. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, proudly show, again, people that wouldn't, they're not going to look at it on the phone. They're just going to see it as another blur of bullshit. And again, having the respectability of being on a shelf in a high street, you're reaching an entire new demographic of people. Already the people that know the culture are going to come to you and find you anyway through the internet pathways. But for that new audience, that novice, the nascent consumer or potential consumer, the curious. Yeah, so I think it's a good pivot, and I'll include links to anything that you've got online and what you're doing. Obviously,
only
below as well.
£10, guys.
And ad slots are available.
Yeah.
I like that little comment about the advertising, but it is a good point though. It is it's a hyper relevant audience that are focused on that thing at the time.